Hi beauties. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you have not done so already, make sure you subscribe because you're going to love it here. I guarantee you're going to love it here. So make sure you subscribe. So as you can tell by the title, this will be a Q&A video. And this Q&A is a little overdue. Okay, it is overdue. I was supposed to, let me see how long. So it's been a month. It's been a whole month. Excuse me. So it has been a whole month since I requested questions for a Q&A. And I did get quite a few questions, even though I feel like, y'all were holding back. Y'all were holding back a little bit, which, like I said in another video, I appreciate it because I think, some of you didn't want to do too much with the questions, but I want some spicy questions. I want some spicier questions than the one that I got. So I will be doing another Q&A, but when I do the other one, I will have all the questions go to my inbox, to my inbox on Instagram, because I just felt that way. If you have a question, it could just be anonymous, just in case you have certain questions that you do not want people to know that it was you, that wanted to know, or that had that excuse me, that asked the questions. So next time I do this, it will most likely be where you can just send me your questions on Instagram. All right, so we're gonna get right into some of these questions. All right, so the first question, it says, what's something you would say to your future self? It would be fun to come back to this later and see if it's what you were picturing. Much love. So what would I say to my future self? To my future self, I would probably say, congratulations. You did it. You set out to make something of yourself, to make something great of yourself. You've set out to be impactful in a great way to not only yourself and people that you know, but other people. You sought out to be wealthy, humble, but wealthy. And you've accomplished everything that you desired. And I'm proud of you. And you're continuing to flourish. You're continuing to evolve into greatness. So that is probably what I would say to my future self. My future self, you did it. You said you would. You dreamt it and it happened. Congratulations. Now look at you. Now you're living in a mansion or mini mansion. Now you are able to help your family. You're able to help your friends. You're able to reach out and help other people just because, and don't want anything in return, So to my future self, you've made it. You've come a long way and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And also to my future self, baby, you at $500,000. You at $500,000 subscribers, and you're making over 6 figures. Girl, you did that. You did that. That is what I would say to my future self. Off the dome. But that was a really good question. I like that. That was a really, really good question because I could literally come back to this video one day and be like, oh my God, like you literally said this and this is what's happening. So I really like that question. That is a good question. So yeah, that future self question, that was a good one. Because normally those type of questions, it's normally like, what would you say to yourself as a kid, when you were a kid? What would you say to your past self? But the future self, that's a good one. So yeah, so that's definitely what I would say to my future self is congratulations. And you made it. You're living lovely. You're traveling. You're on top of the world. You're happy, healthy. So is everybody around you. And you did that. You did that. So the next question, if you were the very first female president, what would be the major three things you would work on? Ooh, that is tough. Okay. What is the first three things, major things? Okay, well, one of the things that, and there's not, nothing is in order, but one of the things that I would really work on is having free medical for everybody. Having free medical service for every single person. Everybody. Free medical service, because you would literally have people dying, on their deathbed because they don't have Medicaid, they don't have anything, or they just don't have the money to afford insurance, so that is one of the things that I would work on, and if I can change that, if I have the power to change that, I would change that to make sure that every single person, woman, child, man, whomever, has free medical service, zero cost, nothing comes out of your pocket whatsoever. Because there are literally countries out there that provides that service to where you don't pay for any type of medical needs, any. So yeah, that's one of the things that I would change. Yeah, that is one of the three things that I would work on if I was a woman president. So she said three. So let me see what else. The other thing I would work on would be poverty. It would definitely be poverty, because like, when I say it bothers me, like, it really, really, really bothers me to see homeless people just laying around in the street. Like, it really irks. Like, it eats at my heart to see that. So that is something that I would really, really work on, just to make sure that everyone who is homeless has somewhere to go, provide housing, because baby, we be out here just helping everybody else but ourselves. We be out here helping everybody else but ourselves. You got to take care of home first, okay? You have to take care of home first. We send and spend so much money, millions and thousands of money, to help other people. Not saying that, we can't help other people, but baby, fix your house first. Work on your house first. Make sure your house is good first before you step out and start helping other people. So that is one thing that I would definitely do, because I feel like there's no reason. Like, if you could spend all this money to help other countries, why can't you do it for your own? Like, I don't get it. But that's another thing that I would work on if I was a president and I had the power to do so. Those are the two things. It would be working to make sure that everybody has free medical service, and also making sure that I work on not being any homeless people, just no homeless people whatsoever. And the third thing, it's kind of hard because there's so many things. There's so many things. I'm trying to see what would be the third thing. What would be the third thing? Because it's certain things that I just don't want to say, because I think it would just be a little too harsh. But one of the things, and I'm going to try to, really be careful how I say this, but one of the things that I would say for the people, because it's not just men, for the people that likes to do things to cheering, baby, I would be cutting certain parts. Okay, I'll be cutting certain parts of the Beautee. Okay, I would be doing that, because if you're doing certain things to vulnerable people like that, you do not need that. You do not need that body part. Okay, you should lose the privilege of having that. So, and that's another thing that, like, really just boils my blood. Like, I cannot stand that. I can't stand people who take advantage of people at all, let alone, a child. So those are the things that I probably would work on off the top of my head if I was a president, if I had the power to do these things. Because, just because you're a president doesn't mean you have the power to just change certain things. You have to go through different avenues to, get these things into place where it turns into laws. So if I had the power as a president, those are some things that I would work on. But yeah, but definitely the first two is definitely something that I would definitely work on, which would be the medical and also helping the homeless, making sure there are no homeless people whatsoever. Okay, so the next question is, how many countries have you visited? Off the top of my head, I can't recall. Shoot, that is a good question. I can't recall. I want to say it's more than five. I know that. It's more than five countries, but off the top of my head, I really cannot. I probably should have sat down and read these questions, but I wanted it to be like authentic. I didn't want to like really just, know the questions and then have an answer ready. So I don't know. But I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember that. So the other question is, can you speak Creole? Okay. Can you speak Creole? And for the people that may not know, I am Haitian. And yes, I can speak Creole. Oui, m'parle Creole. Okay? So yes, I can speak Creole. M'parle Creole and m'parle Creole bien, which means I can speak Creole and I speak Creole well. You ain't know that, huh? You ain't know that. You like that. The next question is, what is your favorite city to visit other than Miami? My favorite city? I don't have a favorite city. I don't know. I don't have a favorite city, to be honest. There's a lot of places that I visited that I really enjoyed, but favorite, I don't think I have a favorite yet. Now, I will say, I mean, if you want to put that in, like, I don't know. Well, maybe this counts. Maybe this counts. If I had to choose a favorite city before I moved to Houston, it would probably maybe Houston, I guess, because when I visited Houston, I loved it. Like, out of all the cities that I've visited prior to Houston, me visiting Houston, that was the first city that I visited before I moved here, and I fell in love. And I'm like, okay, I could definitely see myself living here. I could see myself living here, and now look, now I'm here. So I guess it would be Texas before I moved here. So the next question, what is your favorite country to visit? So far, if I had to choose so far, because I do have a lot on my list that I want to visit, it would probably be Mexico. Probably Mexico. If the cost of living was no issue, what are the top three cities you would like to live in permanently? So if cost of living was not high, the cities, I would say, honestly, the only city and maybe I might sound biased, I don't know, because I'm from there, but if the cost of living was not high, I don't know about permanently, but I would definitely live in Miami, even if it's not full time, maybe like 6 months out of the year, maybe 3 months out of the year, because I really, really love Houston. And I just feel like Miami is just so overcrowded and not enough space, not enough land. So I don't know if it would be permanently, but if the cost of living was not extremely high in Florida and Miami, I would definitely even buy a home. I would definitely even buy a home in Miami, but I don't know if I would want to stay permanently. I don't know. All right, so the next question, how much is the most you would have to, hold on, how much is the most you have paid to have your hair done? So the most I've paid to get my hair done, honestly, I haven't paid to get my hair done in so long, so I can't remember. And when I did pay to get my hair done, the cost to get your hair done wasn't as expensive as it is now. It wasn't as expensive as it is now. So I want to say it was less than 200. It was definitely less than $200. So I guess maybe 150, 160, no more than 200, no more than 200, because I have not paid anyone to do my hair in years and years. I have not paid. I think it has to be over 10 years. I have not paid anyone to professionally do my hair. So, but like I said, the most I can say probably around that time, it was less than 200. All right, the next question, do you get more compliments when you are dressed for special occasions or your daily dress? That's a good question. That is a good question. Cause I do get compliments when I'm dressed for special occasions, and I get compliments when I'm just like looking regular and I'm like, do you not see what I have on? But I will say I have gotten a lot of compliments when I'm just regular schmegular, nothing amazing going on, no makeup, like I'm not doing the most whatsoever, like just running errands. Like that is when I have gotten, believe it or not, that is when I have gotten guys to approach me more, when I'm looking regular schmegular as opposed to me being all did up. So I don't know. I don't know if when I'm all did up, I maybe seem intimidating so they don't come to me. And this is in the past. This is not, cause, but, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's because maybe, cause I've heard, guys, no matter how good you look, sometimes won't approach you because you may look intimidating. So I don't know if that's what it is. I'm not sure. I've gotten both. To be honest, I've gotten both, but I have gotten it quite a few times, quite a lot, where men would approach me when I'm just looking regular. Like I don't have any makeup, just bare face, hair tied. I don't know. But that's a good question. The next question is, what once in a lifetime adventure would you like to experience? Something like skydiving, going to space, etc. I would probably do skydiving. I would probably be terrified. I probably would pass out, wake up, pass back out, wake up, probably pee on myself, who knows. But skydiving, that is probably something I would consider. I would really consider doing that. I'll be scared like crazy, baby. Okay, I'll be so squirrel. But yeah, I would do that. I would do skydiving. If you won 100 million from the lottery, how would your life change? Ciao. Oh, baby. Let me speak it into existence. You've won $100 million. Yay! Speaking that into existence. So if I won $100 million, I think anybody's life would change drastically, especially if you've never had $1 million before. But how my life would change, it would change drastic as far as like just living comfortably, not having to, I won't say not having to count my money, because I'm good when it comes to saving money. I'm really frugal. I'm really good when it comes to saving money. I'm not a big spender. So yeah, I'm not a big spender whatsoever. The next question is, what is the best job you have ever had? None. None. I guess the best company that I worked for was a company that I worked for before the last one that laid me off. I worked for them for about, I want to say 6 years. I think I worked for them 6 years. The company is not the same anymore because once it was sold, things just went downhill. But when I was there, the beginning, it was a great company, great value. We were like family. Management cared about you. We weren't just a number. I really, and I'm not gonna say the company's name, but it was a wonderful, wonderful company. Is it like that still to this day? Nope, it is not. It was, it is. I don't know if it's still, but at the time it was Canadian based. But it was a great company. I mean, hands down, the best company I ever worked for, and the people were amazing, 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 amazing. What is the worst job you have ever had? The worst job I've had, I would probably say when I did security when I was younger. This is before I had my daughter. I was much younger. I did security, and what was this? I think this one, the security job that I was doing, I worked at a gate. And working at gates when you're a security guard, that is the worst, because anybody and their mama could come through the gate, call and report and just say whatever they want to say about you, and you don't have a job. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, you do not have a job. Maybe the only thing that probably could save you is if there's a camera, and most of the times where I worked, there was no camera. But I would say security. And another reason for security at the time, I don't know how they do it now, but if your relief did not come, you cannot leave. You cannot leave whatsoever. So if you're supposed to get off at 5 p.m. and the person that's supposed to come relieve you is not there, you cannot leave. And if you leave, that means you've abandoned your post. You could lose your job. You could risk you losing your license. So I didn't like that. I ain't like that job. Next question is, would you ever do a job that is not common for a lady if it was a great job? So I don't know what would not be common for a lady off the top of my. I mean, the jobs I could think of that is not common for a lady are a lot of labor. A lot of labor is involved. So probably none. Probably none, because baby, I'm not. Yeah, if it's a lot of labor, me lifting things up, I ain't doing it. I ain't, and I be getting my. Oh no, baby. And if it means I can't get my nails done, oh yeah. So I don't. Yeah, unless there's a job that I don't know of that doesn't require a lot of liftings that a man mostly does. The only ones I could think of, baby, you got to get dirty, and no, I can't. I'm too cute for that. No, no. The next question is, what are 5 jobs you would never consider doing? I can't think of 5 off the top of my head, but one definitely would being a janitor. I be seeing how them people leave bathrooms, and baby, I would not want to be a janitor, because mother lovers be nasty. Okay, they be nasty as heck. Okay. Another job I would not want to do, I would not want to be a housekeeper. Yeah, I can't do that. Anything where I gotta clean after people, no, I can't do it. So those are the 2 off the top of my head I can think of. What else? A job that requires me to be in the sun for a long period of time. I can't do it. If I gotta be in the sun long period of times, yo, I can't. I mean, there's plenty more, but those are the 3 that I could think off the top of my head. The next question, have you ever showed out in public? So showed out in public, it could mean many things. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not ratchet. And I'm not loud just to be loud when I go out. Like, I don't like that. So I don't know. Maybe I wish you would have elaborated just a little bit with the showing out in public. But I mean, I like to dance. Like, if I'm out, if I'm at a party, I'm having a good time. If I'm on vacation, I'm finna dance. I'm gonna twerk. I'm gonna do my little 1-2, but I don't know if that's what you meant. But showed out just like going crazy and being ignorant and loud for no reason. I've never done that. But it just depends what you did to me. It depends, because, okay, so I take that back. I showed out in public once upon a time, but I was pushed to it. I was pushed. I was shoved, but that's kind of a funny that's a funny story time, but it was over a Christmas tree. It was over a Christmas tree at Walmart. I think maybe what, 3 years ago. You know, I was about to tussle. I was about to tussle with somebody over a Christmas tree. And at the end of the day, I went home. I got the Christmas tree. I took the Christmas tree home. I won that battle. I did. And I did get loud, but it's because baby girl was doing too much. She was doing too much. Okay? But yeah. So I guess I did show out in public, but I ain't show out just because. I ain't show out just because. I showed out because, little mom was testing me. Like, girl. The next question is, what is your best quality? I don't know. I feel like certain questions are probably better for other people to answer because I think people are normally kind of biased with themselves, that where they think just highly of themselves when it comes to certain things. But from what I've been told, I'm a great listener and I give great advice. So I guess those probably would be the two qualities off the top of my head that I can think of, is that I am a good listener. I'm a really good listener and I give great advice when advice is requested, because I try not to give advice if you don't ask me, if you don't want my advice, I ain't finna give you my advice. I'm just not gonna do it because I ain't got time for that. I'm gonna give you my advice, but I needed to give you a disclaimer. Are you ready? Are you ready for what I gotta say? Because baby, if you ain't ready, you don't want this type of advice. You don't want this type of advice. Because baby, I'm just saying. But yeah, so maybe those are, I've been told. So that's the reason why. I mean, I have others, of course, but those two off the top of my head, great listener and great advice. I give great advice. The next one is, would you be interested in living a country life? And it's funny you asked this question because yes, I definitely would. I would definitely not mind living a quiet, off the grid country life. Like, I'm a nature person. I mean, I don't like all the stuff in nature, like the animals and all that. Like that ain't my cup of tea. Like, baby, y'all, nah. Y'all stay out there. But I like the feel. I love the look. I like the country life. So I mean, I need to have, some stuff not too far, because the thing is, when you live in a country, things are extremely far, especially if you have like an emergency. Things are extremely far. So that is the only thing. That is the only thing. But I would definitely be interested in it. Like I said, it's funny you asked this question because I've had this conversation a few times with other people. And I think I recently had this conversation with someone. I can't remember who, but I had this conversation that I would definitely live a quiet country life with my mans, with my man. Do you have a man, husband, protector, provider, soulmate? But God did. If you won $3 million, but you had 3 days to spend it, how? 3 days to spend it. I would buy me a house, a really nice big house. Well, I would buy me a house and I will buy me lots and lots and lots of land. Lots of land. A crazy amount of land. Because you can't go wrong with that. You cannot go wrong with having acres and acres and acres, So I would buy me a house. I would buy me a house or get something built to my liking where I have everything because I'm getting it built. And then, yeah, I would just really invest in crazy amount of land, and probably transfer a lot of that money overseas, a big crazy amount overseas. I would do that because if I have 3 days and I won't be able to spend it all, baby, I need you to think that it's all gone so you don't get nothing back. I need you to think that it's gone. Okay, so I'm finna transfer them fees overseas, put them somewhere where you can't get them back. Okay. But yeah, but definitely it would be purchasing lots and lots of acres on acres on acres and acres. That I would do. Next question, what is your ideal of a perfect day? My ideal of a perfect day is peace and quiet, cooking, cleaning, making sure my house smells fresh and clean. Yeah, I know this is boring. I know, very boring. But that is my idea of a perfect day because I love a clean house. I love for my house. I love when you open the door and the freshness from inside my house just slap you in the face. Like I love, love, love that. So my perfect day would just be me home, chilling, watching movies. If I'm in a movie mood, because 9 out of 10 I ain't trying to watch no movie. So probably would be me being on YouTube watching my little crime shows and documentaries, stuff like that. You know, just chilling with a glass of wine, eating some good, delicious home cooked meal. That's my perfect day. Just doing absolutely nothing on the outside, that is, but just doing everything, just chilling in my home. Next question, if you could have any job in the world, what would it be? It would be absolutely none. It would be none. It would be none. Okay, no job. I do not want to work a job. Okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to make my own money, my own coins. I don't want to work for no one. I don't want to wake up having to clock into work for anybody. Not saying that there's anything wrong if that's what you choose to. Not saying that I will never work for anyone, because, you know, baby, when them bills start piling up, you ain't got a choice but to get a job. Until your business or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you know, start doing what it's supposed to do. But if I had a choice, it would be none. It would be none. It would be making my own money. Not saying being an entrepreneur isn't going to have its ups and downs where you make money one minute, the next you don't make any money. I know, you know, like, you got to be realistic. But I would prefer to bet on myself and put in the time and effort into myself, the tears and sweat into myself, than doing all that to keep making somebody else rich that's already rich. Like, that's a no-brainer. So yeah, there's no job in the world I would want, unless it's a job where I do absolutely nothing and I'm getting paid crazy money. Like, I'm literally doing nothing. I'm just existing. I'm breathing for free. Just, they paying me crazy money just because I'm there, or whatever that is. But besides that, ain't no job, baby. Ain't no job. So someone asked, what is your favorite city? I think I mentioned that already. So I don't have a favorite city, but like I stated before, and I'm just going to answer it just in case I didn't answer it before. But before I moved to Houston, I would say, if I was asked that question before I moved here, it probably would have been Houston. That probably would have been my answer before I moved here. So yeah, it would be Houston, but now I'm here. So look how God's work. Look how God worked. Now I'm here. Yeah. Okay, so the last question is, what is your most favorite dish to cook? So my most favorite dish to cook, I don't know, because it's crazy when people, I just be feeling like maybe something wrong with me. Maybe I'm weird, because I know people normally have favorite something, but I don't have favorite much of anything. Like, I don't have favorite meals, favorite food, favorite colors. I don't really have favorites, anything. It's like, it's just pretty much whatever I like, you know? But if I had to choose a favorite dish, I probably would go with what my family liked the most, which would be, they love legume, which is a Haitian meal that I've made before. And if you have not watched that video, I suggest you look for that video. Go and look for that video. I made a whole video of my legume, but that is one of my household favorite dish, is making legume. It's pretty much like a stew vegetable, and you can put excuse me, you can put different meats in there. You can put oxtail. Some people that do not eat meat, they put seafood like crab, shrimps, whatever meat, seafood of your liking, you could put it in there, or you don't have to put anything as far as meat or seafood in there. You can just make the stew by itself. But that is one of the favorite dish that I make that they love. Another thing too is spaghetti, Haitian spaghetti. I love, love, love Haitian spaghetti. So does my household. Is that a favorite? I don't know. It's not a favorite, but it's definitely one of my to-go-tos that I love to eat. But if I had, and I mentioned this before, if I had to have a favorite, I have a favorite type of food. And the favorite type of food is Caribbean food. That is my favorite type of food, is Caribbean food. Preferably Haitian food. Again, I may be biased because, you know, I'm Haitian, but it would be Haitian food. That would be my favorite type of food. It would be Haitian food. But yeah, but I don't have a favorite anything really. Like I don't know. Yeah. I don't have a favorite anything. So that is the end of the Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I will be having another Q&A, but this time I want it to be a little bit more personal. You know, I want it to be juicy. Like, just bring it to me. Bring it to me. I want the juicy, fiery, hot Q&A. But again, the questions, you'll be able to just send it to my Instagram, so that way you can stay anonymous, so people won't know that it was you that asked the questions. I got you. You know, I ain't finna put you out like that, okay? It's gonna be our little secret between me and you. Me and you. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.